They don't care about the property rights. Neither one of them own that property. They don't care about it. They're not worried that the property rights system is about to fall. They want to take the opportunity to go into battle and have this sort of like just this like fig leaf of we're trying to maintain order. I mean, give me a break.
No,
it's so bad faith here.
I know.
Just to assert positions to people.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, we could do that. We could say, listen, they're not really having a show here. Sam Seder just wants to have sex with this girl. That's the only reason he's doing this show, right? He's only hired her because he wants to have sex with her.
Well, no, listen. That's not, first of all, that's not fair, Adam. He's obviously only hired her because he wants her to fill a bucket for him, okay? So that he can drink it later in his off time.
I mean, assigning nefarious motives to Sam Seder actually sounds like a pretty fun game.
Yeah,
like
it does. It does.
We could do this all day.
It would be like saying, I know that all the protesters out there, okay, I know this for a fact.
Right.
All the protesters
they don't care
out
about
there,
George Floyd.
They don't care about black people. They just want to burn property down. They're like anarchy. I don't know why my Sam Seder becomes Jordan Peterson. Bear with me. They just like anarchy and chaos. Like, it's like, okay, I mean, you know, maybe some of them, Sam, but calm down.
Wait, I mean, you started to make a lot of sense there, though. I'm like, there you go. That argument's not right.
There you go.
They only want to burn things down. They don't care about
black people. They don't care about
Black Lives Matter.
Burn people down, burn property down. Yeah.
Just to destroy the system.
Right. I think that was Rosenbaum. He obviously didn't care about any of this stuff.
I think there was property rights for everyone.
There was lots of people out there who did actually care about what they believed to be was, injustice against black people in America. There's lots of, and Sam, of course, doesn't know this, that there was lots of protesters out there who were going and asking Kyle Rittenhouse's group for assistance to stop Rosenbaum from setting fire to various buildings throughout the day and night. Yeah. Remember, they had they came over to them. They're like, listen, they're trying to burn a church down. Can you come here with your guns and stop them from doing that? And they're like, yeah, sure.
They tried to burn the petting zoo down.
That's right. They tried to burn the petting zoo down. They're like, listen.
And the one guy, he was in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. He was like, that was a little too far for me. I remember going to that petting zoo when I was a kid.
Yeah, right. It's so funny. You had all these pro BLM protesters. They were there with fire extinguishers, but they didn't want to go and confront Rosenbaum and his group because first of all, Zeminski had a gun.
Right.
And secondly, they're, scary. Like, you don't want to just run up there to if some crazy person's setting fire to something, you don't know what's going to happen if you try to put it out. You don't know if they're going to attack you. So, of course, they go to the guys with guns and say, hey, can you help us? And they say, sure, we would love to help you.
Zeminski had a gun that he was brandishing all night long. That's the guy that shot behind Kyle Rittenhouse while he was running away from Rosenbaum.
Right. Yeah. He pointed a gun at Kyle.
You know what I bet Sam Seder does? I bet Sam Seder, before the show begins, does a little fashion show with his co-host where he approves the outfits that they use for the show. He makes them try on different scantily clad outfits.
Is this part of our bad faith?
He checks. Well, I mean, I'm just speculating here, but he seems kind of like this. He's got some lusty looks in his eyes here.
Right.
Like he basically, no, that news skirt is not going to work for me. Do you have anything shorter? Right.
He has a picture. He has a picture of Anna Kasparian that Jimmy Dore snapped, and he's like, I want it to look like this.
I mean, and you can see here after that little fashion show has ended, she's ended up in basically a bikini top. Like, Sam, what are you doing? This is like a sexual harassment case. I mean, this is a Me Too waiting to happen here.
Right. See, look, it's very easy.
I want you guys to know that I'm just speculating that Sam Seder is a total groomer.
Right. It's very easy to create content when we can just make things up.
Oh,
and assume
I know.
The worst of people. This is just, it's so easy.
It's more fun too because I get to exercise my creative ability here.
Right.
Yeah. It's good.
Why do we, Adam, we're a couple of creative
Why are we
guys,
Team
okay?
Truth? I know Team Truth is so constraining.
Boring and constraining. We're
Yeah.
chaining ourselves to reality when we can just let our creativity go wild
Right.
and make up whatever we want.
Right. The narrative of Sam Seder just lining up a whole bunch of girls in bikinis and basically picking who's going to be the next co-host on the Majority Report. I mean, that sounds so much more interesting, doesn't it?
It does. You know what? I bet if we're gonna go just making things up here, based on Sam's precedent, you know, I bet that everyone on the Majority Report is not allowed to wear pants.
Oh, really?
They're all pantsless below the waist. There's nothing there. There's nothing there.
Really?
Yeah, they all have to just free ball it from the waist down. That's the rule. When you walk in, into the Majority Report studio. He's like, pants off. Get those pants off right now.
Everybody pants off.
Yeah,
huh?
you know how like some people are like, "Oh, take your shoes off."
Right.
Come into my house. He's like, "No, take your pants off."
That's why they're happy to be working from home on COVID. They're like,
Exactly.
Thank goodness I don't have to take my trousers off in front of Sam
like,
this week.
When you come to sit down for your Zoom call, he's like, stand up. I gotta make sure you're not wearing any pants.
Right.
Listen, we have a brand here to protect. Okay.
Okay.
Do not think that's what he's doing in the wide angle. I don't think he's like, well, I uphold white supremacy, but also capitalism. Therefore, I'm defending private property.
If that's what constitutes a decent person, I don't know what does, but if decent person includes someone who's going to shoot multiple people in a night under any circumstance, then I don't know that the word decent has any connotation.
See, under any circumstance is so
stupid.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. You could kill people saving lives.
Look, it's the nefarious baby raper gang.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Just let them go. We can't kill them. There's nothing we can do.
Are we allowed to shoot them and be decent?
Yeah. No. If you kill the notorious baby rapist, you're evil in Sam Seder's eyes.
I mean, technically, that's not that far off from Rosenbaum.
Oh my God. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Sam Seder defending the baby rapist.
I don't know what it could possibly.
I mean, he was kind of defending Reinhold, who did the same thing,
right?
Which is like,
don't shoot that rapist, that baby rapist. Don't you want to be decent?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Then I don't know that the word decent has any connotation. I don't know what it could possibly mean. Like the parameters for being decent are awful wide, but they're going to continue to hammer this. This is just hardworking folks grabbing whatever they find around the house to go help out, their neighbor's store.
See, this is another thing that I don't like about this is this criteria that he's using and making fun of is the communist criteria for decency. It really is. It's like, listen, didn't Karl Marx say each according to his ability, each according to his need? Isn't that the whole, like, we're all as a community and we're going to work together? Isn't that the whole idea behind collective ownership of property? That, we're all in this together. We're all a community.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the argument that they make.
Well, and I wish Destiny would have asked this in their debate, because Sam keeps circling this point, which makes no sense to me. He keeps saying like, oh, Kyle isn't his neighbor. He's not the store owner. Is Sam, does anyone believe that if it was the store owner, or like say Kyle Rittenhouse was the store owner's son, okay? Does anyone believe that Sam would change his opinion on this case?
No,
completely, and say, oh, well, it's completely justified because he's the store owner's son.
It's property. You don't understand. How dare you? Life over property. It's like they're just robots.
Yes.
It's like they have is a simple algorithm, property or human life over property, and no other details matter to the situation.
Yeah, that was Big Joel's argument on this.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what the case is. You're never allowed to inflict harm or kill people over property, which I don't know how you can have a society if that's your rule. I don't think you can have a society if that's your rule. But
Well, definitely that's a moral intuition for a lot of people who have a lot of property.
I have no property. I don't own any property, and yet it's just so obvious to me that you can't have a society function this way.
Right. Yeah.
What was this? Was the first night of protests? Like, I mean, like, his tolerance level was one night. I mean, you know, because here's the game they're playing. He's saying, I'm not advocating this, and I'm not supporting it. I'm just sitting here and giving you analysis. I'm just here. I'm not saying that 2 + 2 equals 4 is good or bad. I'm just explaining to you that 2 + 2 equals 4. Except for one of those twos is a lie. This is not hardworking, decent people grabbing their nearest AR-15 and hitting the streets to protect their buddies.
Yeah.
These are people who have been training with these weapons for years, waiting for an opportunity to justify using them on black people, on white people who are protesting in favor of black people, on leftists, on whomever. This is not, and if those are decent people, if that's the definition of decent people, I want to know what sits outside that definition.
So there you go. Kyle Rittenhouse. I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah.
Kyle Connor. Kyle Connor. Why? Yeah, Kyle Connor has been running around the forest, being trained by his mom, Linda Hamilton. Okay, shooting at
Sitch, we lost you for a
pictures
second
of
there.
black people and BLM.
Yeah.
You're
You're back.
like, listen.
Go ahead.
Oh, what happened? It cut out.
Cut out for a second, but that's okay.
Oh.
Go ahead. You're
Wait,
on a
hold on.
roll.
My little wireless thing fell out.
Your wire
Okay.
fell out. So this is obviously just complete garbage. Like, he is reciting the plot of Terminator 2 here. Kyle
Yeah,
Rittenhouse has been eagerly waiting for the opportunity. Kyle Rittenhouse has basically been a member of the KKK his entire life. You know, his baptism took place at a KKK rally when he was just a little tot, just a little baby Kyle Rittenhouse. The white hoods gathered around. Let us baptize this baby to be in our racist cult. And he's been in that racist cult ever since. That's the thinking of Sam Seder here.
Right. And, you know, since he's making all these assumptions, which, first of all, this is literally untrue because
none of this is true.
Yeah, because, first of all, you know, Kyle wasn't training in the forest to shoot protesters or anything.
Kyle Rittenhouse was a lifeguard at a swimming pool.
Right.
I would hazard a guess that swimming pool allowed black people to swim there. I mean,
listen, we never saw pictures of Kyle Rittenhouse as a lifeguard. Perhaps he was lifeguarding with his gun, okay?
Yes.
And maybe he was pointing it at all the black people. Because he's like, stop, hey, stop running. Stop, look at the sign. Stop, respect the rules, okay?
Something tells me that if Kyle Rittenhouse was a lifeguard at a whites-only pool, that Sam Seder would have a photograph of that.
They allowed black people, okay? It's just that Kyle got to point his gun at them as they walked by.
What?
That was the rule. Yeah, that was the rule.
Oh, you're saying that's why he lifeguarded there?
Yes, because he wanted to point his gun at black people. But no, seriously. It's funny because he's like, these people, it's not like, you know, they just went to protect their neighbor's property. Then that's actually what exactly happened. The guy who organized this whole thing used to work at that car lot.
Yes.
And he used to work there. And so when he saw on the news that it got burned down, he's like, this is horrible. This used to be a place that I worked at. I like the people that own, you know, this business. So he reached out to them and he's like, hey, do you need assistance in, you know, the next night defending the rest of, you know, your business from getting burned to the ground? Yeah. And he said, yes, please. So it literally was that situation. It was someone who knew the guy reaching out to him
Yeah.
You know, saying, "Listen, let me help you."
Ex-employee or wage slave, however you want to refer to the guy.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, it was a wage slave.
Can you imagine? Like if
That's true.
if you conceptualize your job as slavery, are you going to reach out to the slave master to help save his car lot?
There you go. He was just a bootlicker. So, that was the
I guess
problem.
he was a bootlicker, wasn't
That was
he?
the problem.
Oh man.